Tonight I'm going to take you on one of the most unique long-distance trains in all of Europe, if not the world. That's right, this is the new generation ÖBB NightJet. I mean, the service isn't new, but these train sets sure are, relatively speaking. We're heading from Hamburg to Munich overnight in their most coolest and controversial accommodations. A sleep pod straight out of a Japanese capsule hotel, and now available for your viewing pleasure as I take this train. And I got to ride it at a really surprising price. We're going to travel basically the entire length of Germany, complete with all the fun and complications that come with that. And there have been complications. I've heard reports of disappointing food, cramped quarters, unreliable trains, and even nighttime noise that can stop a good night's sleep in its tracks. Get it? Tracks, because it's... Anyways, along the way I'll be ranking the trip in 4 categories to see if this truly beats just taking a normal high-speed train to a hotel. If you're wondering, yes, I am doing that because I've been watching Tonio lately. Thank you for asking. So let's get going on this big blue rolling capsule hotel.
Let's look at the fun.
Hi everyone, Jamie here with Xander here to see me off. I've heard a lot of talk about the capsule rooms in the new NightJet trains, and I've been wanting to try one for a bit. But you know, because I made a point of not wanting to mingle with the pores anymore, before we can go check out our room, let's go to the DB lounge.
Anyone else feeling a little eepy looking at that cozy bed? This is Hamburg's main train station, where I already have some concerns before boarding. See, the night before I got to see off my friend Jen, who was visiting from Vienna, except she was leaving a day later than she had originally planned. The original NightJet train she was supposed to take broke down before it could even leave Hamburg. And since NightJets out of Hamburg operate as 2 sets coupled together, with them splitting at one point with one part going towards Innsbruck and one going to Vienna, we got to watch on anguish as the dark husk of what was supposed to be our train home was hauled through the station attached to a proper working NightJet towards Innsbruck. Unfortunately, I didn't think to film that, so here's Mario and Sonic kissing. I was not putting that experience out of my mind, because this was the first sleeper train I was taking literal years, not since the trip years back on the Amtrak train across Texas with my dad. And that was awesome. Big comfy bed, delicious food, reserved table dining car seating, and granted no Wi-Fi, but it was super memorable. Besides, thanks to our good friends at Germany's favorite rail operator Deutsche Bahn, this new night train I was taking was already off to a great start since I had access to the elusive Hamburg DB lounge before the trip.
Last year we rode together in first class to Berlin. We joked that getting into the DB lounge was a Kafkaesque nightmare, so now I find it funny that I can apparently get in with my NightJet ticket. That and the fact I have Bond bonus silver status now.
Not pictured? They had iced matcha in there. Nice.
You're usually not supposed to come in here, but I got okay. So hi, I'm in the DB lounge and it's very quiet. The view is very cool too.
Our route for tonight looks something like this, complete with a locomotive change at some point. I want to say there will be beautiful views that complement us, but nah, it's like 8 p.m. in Hamburg and we'll be arriving in Munich at just after 6 a.m. if all goes well. Thanks to it being winter in Germany, it'll still be dark when I arrive. Here's our route anyways though. Don't mind the stops, I think I'll be sleeping through most of them. Assuming, again, all goes well. Oh god, please go well.
Alright, elevator smell test. No kidding. Also, it's really weird because, like, that wall opens and this one, but it's not like both. Anyways, the DB lounge was worth the status. I really liked it, actually.
I was giving you a second thumb to put up.
Like, I'm not, like, y'all know I'm a critical person, but I will glaze this lounge. Also, clean out, very, very clean elevator.
Carpeted elevator.
Carpeted elevator.
That's how much they trust it.
Well, off to the platform.
I thankfully have a buffer day in Munich, but a cancellation would make things rather tight. This could all fall apart if this initial night train doesn't show.
Oh, they say the NightJet train numbers in German. It's an NJ, it's an Injut. Love it. Love German language. Anyways, our train is right on time and about to pull in.
See, there's only one NightJet out of Hamburg per night, and not to be a tease, but this video is planned to be part 1 of 3 of a whole saga. First I gotta get to Munich where I'm meeting up with my friend Cora, then we come back to Hamburg together using only Germany's nationwide Deutschen ticket, forcing us to cross the entire country using only the slow regional trains. And then in the final part we'll take part in a huge race from Hamburg to Bremerhaven with 8 other friends, with all of us having randomized routes. That's the mad dash for Bremerhaven. Getting into my room is pretty nice. I cross through coach class, breathe a sigh of relief that I'm getting an actual bed instead of one of those seats, and walk straight towards my mini cabin. Yeah, that's what these are called officially. It's not a capsule, it's a mini cabin. Ooh.
This here is home for the next bit. I need to get myself up there and somehow open one of these things. I can't bear them out so far. Put my stuff away. Also, look at this. It's water in a carton. What the hell?
Not featured, a look into one of the actual sleeping car rooms you can book because this train was basically sold out and those get pretty expensive. My mini cabin comes with a card key and a locker space for my belongings, but as I'm in the top bunk, actually getting in takes some finagling with a ladder.
Hi, I'm up.
Oh, and closing and locking the door, pain in the ass. Do not like. Bad touch for the soul. You basically have to slam it for the latch to engage.
I heard a click. I'm in.
Now, the other amenities are pretty good. I mean, there's some sweet treats and some boxed water, I guess. But hey, I was actually pretty cozy when I got my stuff moved around. The bed feels good and ended up feeling less like a cave or a coffin like I expected, more like a fancy pillow fort. And I certainly had time to get comfy and explore this fancy pillow fort because we just did not leave Hamburg Hauptbahnhof for a hot minute. Well, really for nearly an hour of hot minutes.
So hi, welcome to my NightJet mini cabin. I have this table here. Pillow, just one pillow, sheets, blanket, candy bar, alcohol. There's a little window with a blind back here. Here, let me see if y'all can see this. There's actually really good airflow in here, believe it or not. And over here is the control panel, so... Oh, lights out. There's also this gate here for if you want to take a peek into the cab next to you, not recommended. And it's very comfy, if a bit tiny. I mean, I'm stretching out all the way pretty comfortably, I would say. Now let's just see if we ever leave Hamburg Hauptbahnhof.
30 minutes later.
Okay, so we still haven't started moving. I just want to note that I have this big Nintendo Switch plug here, and this is usually fine, but in the mini cap, and I notice already I'm hitting my head against it, so that's a little... Well, this is going to be censored on YouTube.
I don't know what was happening. For all I know, it was probably another very common case of Europe's second busiest train station operating at overcapacity again, but we just did not leave. And this is where I realized something. Intuitive as the controls for the room were, and as much as I loved the adjustable fan vents and RGB gamer lighting, there was no way I could find a way in my pod to turn down or off the driver announcements.
The sound installation is not very good, and I think there's a couple right next to me joining the Mile Long Club. But hey, outlet, reading light, and yeah. Oh my god, I'm not sure if you can see it because it's dark out, but we're finally leaving Hamburg. Yo.
After what felt like ages, we finally set off from Hamburg, rolling off into the night. And who would then come knocking on my door but a very friendly attendant, there to answer any questions and take my breakfast order. Seriously, I wish I'd gotten this guy's name because he was super nice.
Isn't just my first time in a MiniCab, but first time on any NightJet, and just... I've wanted to do this for years and years.
Unfortunately, unlike on my earlier Amtrak trip, there was no dining car in the NightJet. But if you're in a sleeper accommodation, you do get breakfast options, supposedly. We'll come back to this. I got real snuggled up after this though. The Wi-Fi, good. The bed comfort, great. The only initial comfort issue is whenever we hit a bumpy piece of track, my phone or laptop charger would fall out of the rather loose outlet positioned right above where you're supposed to put your pillow, and it would hit me in the face. But hey, a little brain damage builds character, right?
Ow. Ow.
Besides that painful flaw, I was actually pleasantly surprised. There was a decent blanket, some sheets to make up your bed all proper, and a pillow that exists. So this is why stuffed animals are crucial travel companions.
Forgot to mention as I'm cuddling up with my NightJet blanket, I'm ranking this on 4 criteria. Comfort, vibes, food, and punctuality. While the punctuality's not great right now, the comfort and the vibes, great. Nutty. Hello, we're pulling into Hanover Hauptbahnhof. I will say, they just made the announcement and it came out of that thing. I wish I could turn that off. Oh my god. Oh.
It threw announcements at me. Lots and lots of announcements. They're pretty loud too.
I have a big bit of advice for NightJet. I'm very cranky right now. Stop making goddamn announcements at every stop about the quiet hours. You are interrupting the quiet hours.
I slept pretty dang good when I could, but if you're a light sleeper, those announcements can and will keep you up. Oh, and the soundproofing isn't great either. Definitely not a room I tried to join the Mile Long Club in, if you catch my drift.
I was actually having a nice sleep, but now we're in Göttingen. And I know this because of the announcements. Please let me turn it off.
Here's the craziest bit though. Thanks to taking advantage of some offers and careful timing, my ticket tonight was only valued at around 65 euros, and I didn't even pay that much for it. What can I say? I'm an expert at couponing. I like to pride myself on those couponing skills. But the biggest problem with booking this train is that the ÖBB, the Austrian State Railways, I should have specified it earlier, that's who runs this, well, they use a flexible demand-based pricing model for tickets, and it's bad. So you may get lucky and catch some sales, or even be able to ride in coach class for as low as 25 bucks if the train's not super packed. Or for even a simple minicab like I have, if you're needing to book last minute, you could be paying nearly 200 euros or more for the exact same experience I had. And at that price, I gotta ask, why not just take a day train, get a hotel? It's baffling to me and makes me glad that competitors are starting to operate other sleeper trains in Germany and beyond. I really gotta give RDC or European Sleeper a try one of these days. If anyone from one of those companies is watching, hit your girl up. Surprisingly, Germany's Deutsche Bahn hasn't had any sleeper trains of their own for over a decade now. Whether you would have called it the Intercity Night or the City Nightline or something else, I sure miss those funky Spanish Talgo sleeper trains. But more importantly, as we continue through Germany, the delays keep steady. And you know what that means? If things get worse, I won't be able to meet up with Cora in time. And they're a furry. I think being delayed like that is disrespectful in their culture. Things do not improve though. Somehow we're still over an hour delayed when I wake up to breakfast properly the next morning.
So... good morning, it's 5 a.m. I had an actually really restful night's sleep. That was wonderful. Let's go get ready for today because I smell kind of stinky.
Like, I really did not smell good. Even with the AC on, I sweat like hell that night. I was like Magic the Gathering tournament level stinky. Which you know is where today's sponsor comes in. That's wild, by the way.
Wow, I look a little wild. My hair's looking a little wild. I'm feeling a little wild. Today's video is actually brought to you in part by Wild, who was actually nice enough to not only help make this video possible, but send me some very nice soaps to use. So that includes, ready? The Wild Body Wash, which is very nice and would be great if this train actually had showers. But they even sent me like the soap dispensers and stuff. That's cool as hell. However, what's very important for this, and which is a product that I actually use quite a lot, is they sent me their deodorant, which is so good and so useful. I've actually been using this for a while now because since Most deodorants in Europe aren't antiperspirant. Clouds are. Ta-da! We just hit a bumpy spot. But hey, if you want to get some for yourself, then go, you follow the link in the description below and use the code S-Bahn20 at checkout. Thank you again, Wild, for helping to make this video possible. Okay, I forgot my hairbrush. Let's walk back to the room and have breakfast. Oh, and just in time because breakfast has arrived.
This is breakfast, so I plop down my cabin's little mirror table combo things and sit down to maybe one of the worst breakfasts I've ever had. Definitely one of the most lackluster meals I've ever had in a train.
There we go. Finally got my hairbrush. Finally ready for a day. Let's look to see what we got for breakfast. It's nice, it's warm, and it's ready for us. So first off, we have our cutlery, a roll, the bag for my tea. We have another roll. We have Gartenland jam, and that's it.
I have to brew the tea myself, and the roll comes with 2 microscopic things of jam, and it's also pretty hard. This breakfast reminds me of a more alcoholic version of a German hospital breakfast, except those usually at least come with a meat, some cucumber, or if you're real lucky, both. Definitely a meal that makes you say, can't wait to get some Yormas at the train station. Overall, even with these headaches, I'd say the NightJet sleeper cab, capsule hotel room thing was pretty comfy. I got the hang of the ladder as the night went on, and could even manage to sleep with my back straight in one end of the cabin. Not sure what the hell was up with the other end though.
Alright, so we're like 5 minutes from Munich. Let's climb down one more time.
Again, the entire thing, especially with the pillowy accents that go up a bit of the wall, really kind of gave me Pillow Fort vibes. I enjoyed it. It's not for everyone, but I had fun.
Ooh, we're at Hackerbrücke. Yeah, we're getting real close to Munich. Yeah, that, it wasn't perfect. It was an imperfect trip. But I would probably do it again.
And that's good because we're about to pull into Munich Hauptbahnhof, still around an hour late. And yes, because it's winter in Germany, it's still dark at just past 7 a.m.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Munich Hauptbahnhof. We have made it from Hamburg to Munich in the sleeping cabinet. Let's watch our chariot depart, I guess.
I could thankfully be pretty leisurely getting off, and thankfully didn't have any heavy luggage. I was just traveling with a backpack. But, the train stays in Munich for, in this case, around half an hour, actually. I still had some time until I met up with Cora, so being the train fan I was, I decided to watch them switch out the locomotive. It apparently already been switched once during the night, likely when the other train set was uncoupled. But Munich's main train station is kind of weird being a stub station on. So basically if a train pulls in, it has to reverse the other way to get out. And despite the NightJet having a cab car on each end, is it really called a cab car if it's permanently coupled to the train cars? Anyways, so they had to switch the locomotive.
So as you can see, this NS locomotive here from the Netherlands has been uncoupled. And now what was the front of the train is now the rear, and they've put a new locomotive on the other end. And that's because Munich is a terminus station. Any trains that come into one of these platforms has to be turned back around.
And then if I'd stayed on board, I would have been whisked away across the border, but that's not what's in store today. No, see, instead of me answering a viewer question like I usually do, I asked my friend 29 down the line questions, mainly, hey, what's some fun train stuff to do in Munich? You used to live here. And thanks to him, I got to do something even more exotic and incredible.
And they're both boys.
Oh god, look at that. That's so intense.
But I farted. Oh, it queefed dominantly.